made final.
This is a series everybody has been waiting for with bated breath for 2 years.
Portland was going to play against Chicago.
The world, the country wants to see Portland versus Chicago.
And then it became individual competition.
Jordan against Drexler. Clyde against Michael. See, this is what Michael lived for. He wanted this challenge, showing Clyde, not only Clyde, but the world that, hey, I am the greatest, I am the best in the world.
This is the inner thought that I had. This is my motivation. And that's not to get Clyde mad at me if he ever sees this video, but when the game and when the ball's thrown up, there's going to be a differential between the two of us. And I'm going to let you choose which is best.
Salute. What's good, people? What's up? It's your boy Kelvin behind the bench, man. Big shout out to everybody. Shout out to everyone out there, man. Shout out to all the new subscribers. Shout out to the other guys in the group. JB, Shad, Kobe Bryant Film Room, Big Dog Talk Sports. Y'all sub up to those gentlemen's pages. All right, let's get right to it, man. The truth must be spoken about, man. It must be spoken about. So, as we know, the last few weeks or so, Rasheed Wallace went on a podcast. I don't know. I guess his own podcast. I don't know, whatever it is. And he started talking about Michael Jordan. And he said that, in his opinion, Michael Jordan wasn't all that as a defensive player. And then, he tried to give his asinine explanation or whatever. And it's no disrespect to Rasheed Wallace. Rasheed Wallace seems like a nice guy. And I like Rasheed, but in my opinion, you sound absolutely ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can find clips of people getting beat here and there and chop it up and edit it and put it together and say, see, Michael Jordan wasn't all that as a defensive player, man. You know what I'm saying? Everyone's going to get beat here and there. There's a lot of great scores, and, the 1%ers, at times, they're going to get you. But in this video, we're going to talk about Clyde Drexler and Michael Jordan. And Clyde Drexler is, as we know, a top 50, top 75 player, one of the greatest shooting guards of all time. And a 1%er, like I said, one of the great scorers, one of the great athletes, nicknamed Clyde the Glide. And this is one of the guys that Rasheed Wallace mentioned in his video. He said that Clyde Drexler, used to cook Michael Jordan. That's what he said. My thought on that is, again, when you the elite of the elite, and Clyde Drexler is that, and Michael Jordan is that, at times you're going to get beat. And Clyde Drexler, to me, was a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger than Jordan. So at times he could kind of muscle him and post him up a little bit and get shots off and make them. But still, Michael Jordan was a great defender. So what I want to talk about real quick is the 1992 NBA Finals. Let me kind of give you a quick backdrop of how they got to this point. During the time of the late 80s, going into the early 90s, Michael Jordan was the best shooting guard. Clyde Drexler was number 2. And there was a debate of, like, who's better. Some people kind of leaning towards Clyde Drexler. I don't know why, but they was. And then a lot of people, most people had Jordan. But, this finals that they had in 92 was kind of 2 years in the making. The Rumblers got to talking and going in 1990. But, of course, in 1990, the Chicago Bulls didn't make it to the finals. They got to the Eastern Conference Finals. They lost to Detroit in Game 7, and so they didn't make it. Now, Portland, during this time, they had a great team. They, Terry Porter, Kevin Duckworth, Jerome Kersey, Cliff Robinson. Great teams they had. They came out the West, and they made it to the finals. I believe they won 59 games that year in 1990, and they lost to Detroit in 5 games. Okay, cool. So 91, as we know, the Bulls break through. They come out the East. They get past Detroit. Portland has another great regular season. They rolling through the Western Conference playoffs, and then they get to the Western Conference Finals, and they play the Lakers, and In 1991, you have to give Magic Johnson a lot of credit. He had a great series, and the Lakers, they upset Portland. This year, Portland had won 63 games, and the Lakers upset them. And give Magic a lot of credit for that, leading that team. Without Kareem there, Kareem had retired a couple years earlier. And, of course, they broke through, got to the finals, and the Bulls beat them. So, we come into 1992. It's still the talk. Who the best shooting guard? Jordan and Drexler. Jordan. They're the two best. One guy's in the East, one guy's in the West. Both high-flying, athletic, great scorers, great facilitators, great defensive guys, yada, yada, yada. Who the best? So, during the regular season, Michael Jordan, the Bulls, they're coming off their championship. They have a great regular season. Up until that point, the most wins they had, 67 wins. Clyde Drexler, Portland, another outstanding season in the West. They had the number one seed, 57 wins. And this season, Michael Jordan wins the MVP. Clyde Drexler is a runner-up. So they both is on the collision course. Who's the best shooting guard? The MVP and the runner-up. Regular season numbers for Michael Jordan, 36-6. Clyde Drexler, 25-6-6. So both great numbers, outstanding, great teams, and they coming through the playoffs. So I'm going to give you the numbers in the playoffs of both guys. Clyde Drexler, before you get to the finals, he's averaging 27, 7, and 7, 49% field goal percentage, still in the half a game, and he's rolling. He coming through the West, and they headed to the finals. The Bulls, Michael Jordan, he elevated his game. He's averaging 34 points, 7 boards, 5.5 assists, 2 steals, 49% shooting. Great. They both playing outstanding. Great. Jordan get through the East. Clyde Drexler get through the West. And we just heard on that video, Michael Jordan said, okay, let's talk about who's the best shooting guard. Let's throw the ball up and let's see. But I'm going to let you decide, who the best. And so the series starts. We know game one, the iconic shrug game by Michael Jordan, the 7 threes, 35 points. They dominate, they win that game, and that's that. And so they get to game 5. The series is tied up at 2-2. Got a really good series. And so I just want to give you guys the numbers from game 5 and game 6. And then I'm going to give you the full numbers for the series. And, you decide who was the better player, man. You know what I'm saying? Let me pull it up real quick. Let's go to game 5, 92 finals. And see, this is what I talk about with Michael Jordan, man. Michael Jordan had the ability to step up in big games when teams needed him the most. And, he never failed, man. So, game 5, 2-2 in Portland. This is one of Michael Jordan's most underrated games that people do not talk about. He has a lot of great iconic moments, but for whatever reason, this game here gets lost in history. But game 5, 2-2 in Portland, Michael Jordan drops 46 points on 61% shooting, 2 for 4 from 3. Yeah, it's 5 boards, 4 assists. Scottie Pippen has a great game also. Clyde Drexler, he has 30 points, 10 rebounds. Sound good, but he shoots 42%, 0 for 3 from downtown, and Portland loses that game. Okay, let's go to the game 6. This is the series on the line. The Bulls win, they win the championship. Let's talk about this game. Michael Jordan, 33 points, 13 for 24 shooting, 54% field goal percentage, 4 steals, 4 assists, 4 boards. Clyde Drexler, the all-important game 6, 24 points, 8 for 24 shooting, 3 turnovers, 8 boards, 2 assists, and the Bulls win their second championship. Now, let me give you the series overall numbers. You know, Rasheed Wallace like to talk about defense. And, Clyde Drexler, man, he was cooking Michael Jordan, man. What y'all talking about, man? So, Michael Jordan, Finals MVP 92. 36 points, 5 boards, 6.5 assists, 1.7 steals, 52% field goal percentage, 42% from 3. All right. Let's look at Clyde Drexler's number. Let's go to him for the series. Let me pull that up for y'all. So y'all, you decide. Clyde Drexler, 25 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 40% shooting, 15% three-point percentage for the series in 1992. You heard Michael Jordan. You heard what he said. I'm just going to throw the ball up. We're going to play, and you decide who the best. And I believe Michael Jordan in this finals showed you who was the best. You talk about defense and all this type of stuff, Rasheed Wallace. When you got an elite scorer like Clyde Drexler, who was coming into the finals rolling, averaging 27, 7, and 7, and you drop his scoring average 2 points, and you drop his field goal percentage 8.5, 9%, and then you drop his 3 points shooting percentage. I think he coming into the finals, he was only shooting like 26, 27%. They didn't shoot a lot of threes, but he did drop that 10% also. And you want to talk about defense, sir? With all due respect, Mr. Rasheed Wallace, shut your goddamn mouth, boy. Michael Jordan absolutely dog-walked Clyde Drexler on both sides of the court when they matched up. There is no comparison. Okay, sir? And I just read you the numbers. And this is back then when they guarded each other a lot. Now, yeah, sometime during the series, they would take off. Somebody else would guard Jordan, or Scottie Pippen would guard Clyde Drexler for a few plays. But for the most part, they was going at each other. And you see the difference in the men. Michael Jordan, his numbers went up. His field goal percentage went up. His three-point percentage went up. Clyde Drexler, his numbers went down. His field goal percentage went down. His three-point percentage shooting went down. All his numbers went down. And so when you're playing an all-time great like Clyde Drexler, that is great defense. That is what you want to do. You want to make them inefficient, work hard, and a volume scorer, and drop their field goal percentage. And Michael Jordan did that. And the Chicago Bulls did that. Let me read the numbers again in closing so y'all would know. In the finals, Michael Jordan, during the season, I just read to y'all, he averaged 30, 6, and 6. On the biggest stage of them all, he elevated all his numbers across the board. 36, 5, 6.5 assists, 52% field goal percentage, 42% shooting from 3. Clyde Drexler was 25, 6, and 6 in the regular season, 49% field goal percentage. In the playoffs, pre-finals, 27, 7, and 7, 49% field goal percentage. And the Michael Jordan Chicago Bulls, the defense they put on Clyde Drexler, his field goal percentage dropped 9%. 9. But according to you, Rasheed Wallace, with all due respect, Clyde Drexler cooked Michael Jordan. Really, nigga? Really? The numbers don't lie, people. And I gave you the numbers of the two most important games in the series, Game 5 and Game 6, where Michael Jordan absolutely dogged walk Clyde Drexler on both sides of the court. People, stop listening to the bullshit narratives, bruh. Michael Jordan was a great defensive player. On ball, off the ball, weak side help with the blocks, going through the passing lane for steals. Whatever needed to be done on the defensive side of the court, Michael Jordan did that. That mean, hey man, sometimes you got beat, bro. You might be going against Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson's quick. Allen Iverson may get you a few times. Or J.R. Rod or Joe Dumars or whatever names you said. And Clyde Drexler too. But overall for the series, there is no comparison. None. None. And when that finals was over, there was no more discussion about who was the greatest shooting guard. Not only was Michael Jordan the greatest shooting guard, that series, he's the greatest shooting guard of all time and the greatest player of all time. Because on the biggest stage and on the biggest moments, he always showed up for his team. Time after time after time. The greatest of all time. Michael Jeffrey Jordan, people. Salute to y'all. God bless y'all. I'm out, man.